Hello! Nagyon nagy szeretettel üdvözlök mindenkit Londonból. Ez a beszélgetés Sergio Magánával, a Bioenergetik kiadó megbízásából megjelent Tolték, titkok című könyv világhírű írójával készül. A beszélgetés a misztikus obszidián tükör használatának titkairól szól, és alapvetően a magyar olvasók kérdéseire ad majd válaszokat. Hello to everybody. We are sitting in London with Sergio Maganaval. He published his first Hungarian book with Bioenergetik Kiadó. So you're coming to Hungary in November, and you are going to hold two workshops. And one of these workshops about the obsidian mirror and the use of obsidian mirror to discover our unconscious. The basic question would be that why would we want to discover the unconscious? Why are we not just happy with the person who we think we are? And also, if you could compare, because I've read in books, and I heard you talk a lot about that you have psychologists and psychiatrists visiting your workshops, and maybe do a little comparison as well about using the mirror to encounter the unconscious and say psychotherapy or.
Of course. Okay, hello to everyone, all my Hungarian friends. But actually, it's interesting now. I am remembering that someone told me I was teaching the obsidian mirror in Istanbul recently, and they told me, have you noticed that you are following like the obsidian route in Europe? And I said, why? Because you said you teach in the countries that have obsidian, that is Italy, Hungary, and Turkey.
Wow!
I never realized, and for example, not in Italy, but in Anatolia, that was in Turkey, and in Hungary, they have found ancient obsidian mirrors. Yeah,
obsidian is quite used crystal in Hungary. Yeah. As you know, we have obsidian wine as well.
Yeah, I know obsidian wine. Yeah, I remember that. So, the obsidian mirror, of course, that encounter with the unconscious is a very modern name. The ancient ones call it the cave, what is hidden inside you. And actually the main essence or energy or God, if you want to call it, it was called Tezcatlipoca. That means smoking mirror. That in the ancient codexes always had like a mirror in one of his arms and in one foot. And it was said that in that mirror it was created everything that you were going to live. Of course, if you see it in a god, it's outside you. But the ones that were exploring the ancient knowledge know that it's inside and outside you. So it's mainly, for example, when the official story is written by the monks that arrived to America, or some conquistadors, but they were putting things like who was the Tezcatlipoca or the smoking mirror, and the people answered, the one that gives you everything or takes from you everything, the one that takes you to war or to peace, and of course the people didn't understand that it's yourself. So what nowadays is called the unconscious. So it is the one that gives you everything or takes from you everything, the one that will take you to a tragedy or to fortune. So, and the ancient Mexicans really looked so, like in the Eastern traditions that they say that everything is an illusion, for the ancient Mexicans it was said that everything is a reflection. That the only thing that we know of ourselves is our reflection. And if you see it's true, we have never seen our face. You have only seen your reflection and how you think you are. And there is a strong identification between our reflection and our life and our history. And actually, the discipline of the obsidian mirror, it's quite amazing, because you are going through all the ancient names of Tezcatlipoca. That one is the part that the one that is creating yourself, the idea that you have of yourself. The history you think you have lived, that inner voice that a lot of times is cheating us, like telling you this is impossible, this cannot be healed.
I know my talks has done.
Yeah.
Never says you can do this.
Yeah. And the enemy, that is the destructive force that is inside us. Many layers. the part of you of us that loves to fight with other ones. So you see there the part of you that is weak, that repeats the same patterns again and again. So it's quite interesting to go all them through, and that's why a lot of my students around the world are psychologists and psychiatrists, because they think, many of them think, not all of them of course, that is like one of the best explanations about the unconscious of the ancient world.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, I mean, what's the main reason why they would use it? I mean, they know psychotherapy and then they use it every day, so what do they...
Because, for example, even for the psychiatrists and that, because you are able to do it for yourself, the first thing, and then the cycles are quite quickly. For example, in the Obszidián mirror, to feel complete changes, it's done in 36 days, not in 8 years.
And that beats everything. That's 36
yeah, so 36 days, and you change a lot, and then you can go back every time that you want, and it saves you a lot of money, a lot of time, years of therapy, and it makes you a lot aware of what is in your inside, that normally we all react by instincts.
Yeah. I think that's the instincts are really important, that you sort of understand your instincts. For me, that was a big deal when I've done first the Obsidian mirror exercises, that I didn't even know they existed, because they are so automatic.
Yeah,
and you just not, I mean, I wasn't aware of them.
And it's awareness, yeah.
And normally they're not the one what you're proud of.
No, but it's a good thing. And now, for example, many times when I'm feeling those instincts, I just think of the archetypes of the mirror. Oh, this is my rabbit. No, this is my enemy. This is my parasite, or the voice that is cheating me. And then when you get awareness, then it really decreases a lot, because you do not allow yourself to feel it completely and to fall again in the entire drama like before.
Yeah, and then for me, in my case, it was before I never knew I've done it, but second, I never really had the option. But now I just go like, oh, you know what, this is not me, really.
Yeah.
This is just like a small part of me, so I don't really have to. I just can choose something else, you know. So yeah, it's really liberating actually. So thank you. So the next question, sort of continuing on this one, that what would be the everyday practice? You know, someone practice this. How would the everyday life change?
A lot. For example, if, like I say, we will always have like a cave or an unconscious. But if you were attacking yourself like 100 times per day with phrases, thoughts, emotions, and then they decrease to 10, then your life changes a lot. You don't lose a lot of energy fighting, and you overcome. It's very good for overcoming emotions, addictions, and to really be changing. Of course, it sounds like the miracle, because it's done 36 days instead of 20 years or 6 years on that, but it's a huge work, because it's facing in a very intense way the things that you don't want to see normally, like you said.
And it does require discipline,
yeah.
I have to say, because
36 days are in a row. If
in
you
a
lose
row,
one day, you have to start again.
It seems really, really easy, but because no one actually dared to tell you when to do it, how to do it, and basically, you know, sort of sitting behind you like a psychologist or something, you have to do it just for yourself, and then you have to make yourself do it. At least in my case, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. So thank you. For the next question this is an interesting one from someone who actually really likes Toltecs and Mayans, the culture, so it's not really about the mirror. He's asking, have we actually lost the knowledge of the Toltecs? whatever they've known in terms of consciousness and knowing, or have we inherited maybe something? So is it in our blood, in genes, or?
No, in genes, of course, no, because it's in the current Mexicans now. We come from there, no? One part, no, because now it's mixed with Spanish. And, the tradition is huge. So the Aztecs said that they came from the Toltecs, and mainly the Aztec culture was based in Toltec knowledge. And then what is inherited and kept is really like Aztec Mexica, but it came from the Toltec, and before the Toltecs were the Xochicalcas, Teotihuacan, so it's a huge body of language. So there are many disciplines like for example, dances, sweating lodges, ceremonies that are quite preserved. The calendar.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, calendar and is preserved. Of course, if an oral tradition that was really chased, and that there are like discussions between some and others, and they say, I am right and you have a small mistake, but that's normal. Then what it was really like not easily preserved, because they were the ones that were really chased before, were the dreamers and the people of the Obsidian Mirror.
You mean chased by the
first,
conquistadors?
the church. For example, in the dances, the Catholic Church allowed the people to keep dancing the ancient dances, but forbid the drums. And allow them to dance like with guitars, and that is quite of ridiculous, no? But but it was preserved, because people danced like for 3 centuries, like with guitars and that. And nowadays the drums came back. But the dreamers and that, so they had to hide themselves to keep their lives. So there are still like close lineages that are in the communities of what they are called nahuales, and some others hide themselves like in the church, and they began passing it secretly from one to the other. And that knowledge is really, really difficult to find. I was really like very, very lucky to find some teachers, sometimes in unexpected way, like the one of the mirror, that I was following a lucid dream, and then I went to an archaeological site, and then the artisans tried to sell me original pieces that they take out from their land, and then there was a mirror there, and I said, okay, I want that piece. And they asked me, do you want, and they offer how to teach me. So it was like kind of magical, but it's not an easy knowledge to find nowadays. But many of the others are there.
Do you think they're looking for students or to pass on the knowledge? Or?
No, I don't think so. Of course, in the close lineages, I think so, but it's passed to 4 or 5, and they practice together, and that. No, they're not open. I haven't seen many people really open in the dreaming body of knowledge and of the mirror. I haven't in the kind of practices that I do. I don't know someone else.
You're doing some sort of a merge of different lineages?
Not exactly a merge, because I found like the one that I mentioned that in Tula, that taught me the Obsidian Mirror, Armando. He told me what to do exactly, how to disappear, how to make the shape shift, to call the ancestors, how to call like the ladies that pass away giving birth to solve your problem. So he taught me a lot of how to, in complete darkness, create moving your eyes like light from the darkness and that, but it wasn't like quite a specific like a methodology. But then one of my other teachers, Ocelocoyotl, that he's a lot into ceremonies, sweating lodges and dances. And he's also an academic. He has like PhDs in history of Mexico. So, but he knew all this knowledge of all the names of Tezcatlipoca, how you were supposed to see that in the Obsidian Mirror that were part of you. So when I got like this part and the other part, I said, okay, this is what you are supposed to do. But he knew what to see, but not how to. And I knew how to because of the others. So I said, okay, it's just putting it together, and that's what I teach.
So do they overlap like a puzzle? So can you sort of put them together?
Yeah, but it's just joining
the pieces.
Like pieces. That's what I do, because the other one, for example, it was like almost done. because the other one, Armando told me, like, for example, if you have cancer, to see your reflection, and that you have like identification between your reflection and the cancer, to disappear the reflection and ask the mirror to pull the energy of the cancer. It was very concrete. So when I saw Ocelocoyotl, and he gave me all the names, like in theory, of Tezcatlipoca, one is the idea of you. So one of the idea of you will be that you have cancer, and with many others, the history and that. So I just assembled it because it was like the same methodology. The other was much more concrete. If you have depression, see yourself with depression, disappear the reflection, and ask the mirror to pull it away. So with the other, it became like more
mythical and
mythical,
magical and
no, mythical, not magical was the one that was very concrete, but mythical according to the ancient knowledge. But it was done for me because one told me, be very concrete. If you have any issue, see yourself in the mirror, disappear it. So I just have to be a little bit clever to see, of course, because any issue is an idea of you, and it's based in a history, and it's based in destructive forces. Exactly. So I just joined, put it together, but it wasn't quite half, because I had like both versions chopped, like for me just to cook it them.
Can I ask actually a question on this one? Do you think that helps that you're actually not from the ancient tradition, so that you have Spanish background?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're sort of an outsider, but insider a little bit.
No, because I'm Mexican. Of course, I have a lot of Spanish family and that, but I'm Mexican. No, but I was born in. Of course, I remember my grandfather Spanish. I have still uncles and cousins in Spain and family, but I really feel like Mexican. But of course, it's different because I was really raised Catholic.
That's what I meant actually. That some, if you would have grown up sort of like a very close society, and then you have the elders.
Everyone is raised Catholic.
Okay.
No, there is no thing like ancient tradition. So I want to be like really clear, except in certain Mayan groups. Okay, the people is not raised. Of course, now it's a syncretism. With people using the ancient knowledge. For example, my nanny, that it was my first example of indigenous culture, she was totally Catholic. She went to mass every Sunday and that, but she was a curandera, healer, so she knew how to cleanse yourself with with an egg, and how to move the eyes to clear things, and she knew about dreams and plants, and how to do cleansing with plants and with the smudge. So it's a complete syncretism. It was a complete fusion. I think that the advantage is that I have raised like in a modern Western scientific world, so that it's easier for me like to approach the ancient knowledge to a modern mind.
Especially when we read the book. I think it helps to understand things when you are a little bit outsider, not much. So you have the interest, but you're sort of looking at it with a different mind. Because, when when you do the daily routines and say like, if you're one of the North American tribes and you grew up, you do the exact same thing. It's almost like become a practice, but it doesn't have that sort of subject-object, relation. Thank you. So the next question is a very practical question, that when someone would visit your workshop and they would learn to use the Obsidian mirror, obviously it's advertised that you can learn to heal yourself and heal other people. So how the healing works, is it when they heal themselves, would they heal through the unconscious, the others, or you can actually directly heal other people?
Of course, the body of knowledge of the Obsidian mirror is huge. There are many practices. So in this one, I just cannot cover like the three first ones. that is a lot. So, for example, when you heal yourself, actually the first thing that you begin seeing is that your family starts changing. That's without doing anything. So, and sometimes it's not so quickly. Like I told you before starting the interview. After many years of using these techniques, for example, now my siblings are going to my workshops, but after 15 years, something like that. So, but you are helping that way. But in the workshop, we will see a very practical way how to call certain energies to the mirror to be healing like a practice other ones.
Yes. So you actually can directly heal as well other people.
Because there can be done like practice. practices.
Okay, thank you. So the other question is sort of in connection to this one, is there some people interested to know how to using the Obsidian mirror would affect the collective conscious?
For example, I believe that the collective change comes from individual changes and not in the other way. Yeah. If you change and your family start changing, so it begins like a chain of changes. Mm-hmm. But it comes
with me.
It comes with you, and then the people that are close to you, mm-hmm. and that is how it starts. Because I see many times there are done. You have seen revolutions and everything that are like kind of collective changes, and then they finish worst because there were individual changes before. Yeah. So I think like in the way it should be done is from yourself to the outside.
Yeah. As I mentioned to you, that the most change I can see is on my mother's, and she's a different person. And it's amazing to see because I never forced her, so I never healed her. It's just I healed my own relationship to her.
Yeah, and of course, for example, like I said, I come from a very traditional family. So I was never trying to convert them. Mm. And thanks God, because if not, it would have been like terrible and challenging, and they will try to make what I was doing less and that in the beginning. Yeah, so I never tried. So for example, in the Christmas and everything, I was normal one, like celebrating mm-hmm. Christmas and that, not pretending to put my beliefs. And now the changes came by themselves. Like mm-hmm. your vibration really changes, and they begin getting interested, and they begin like approaching it, but by themselves, not trying to convert anyone.
I really like actually especially in the mirror practices that is sort of respectful in that sense to anyone and to the whole society. You're not looking for the problem in others, and
no, you're looking everything
because you can see, I mean, the TV and the newspapers, they are full of problems, so that would be easy. But you actually just look in the mirror and look and see what can I change and what can I
yourself. And of course, it's the only way. I don't think there is other way.
Yeah.
Like to pretend that of course you can do your best so that the changes, and I'm not saying this is the only way, because the only way is to change yourself, but there are many probably in Buddhism or other traditions. If you change yourself, and it's absurd to think that you have the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have seen that this kind of truth, if we can call it like that, has worked for a lot of people, including you, for example, and me, and many people.
Yeah, thank you. I 100,000% agree with that one because it's amazing and almost humbling. So it's in a nice way amazing. So it's not like that I've done this. It's more like, it really put me in my place.
That's great. Yeah, and me too. I changed through the disciplines, not before practice.
There's an interesting question about the person who is studying the Vedas, the Eastern culture. Yeah. And she's asking that in Eastern culture, they say that you're more sort of the fuller self, or the more real self is your unconscious. In Tolték, do they say anything about the nawals and tawals and their relation that is sort of a more
it's not the real self, it's the other part of you.
The other part. So the real self is both, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the complete one. Mm-hmm. But it's the other, like the unknown, the one that is creating this one, but that almost is like I said, like in a cave, like in the darkness.
Two is more like complete, isn't it? Real. Rival or real or more real. Yeah. I think, actually now we're talking about this, the real question of people, is there life or death or both together? It's the both together, isn't it? Yeah. It's sort of to find the balance of the two nature of ourselves, isn't it? The last question would be that obviously, and using the mirror to improve our lucid dreaming, and you're doing the two workshops together. Can you tell me that how sort of the two can help each other?
Because in the ancient training, Nahualism, they were together. Yeah. It's not...
There was one tradition,
basically. It was one training, and it covered both. Because it is said, and I truly believe it, that the mirror is halfway between the dream state and the waking state, because the thing that you see in the mirror are kind of a dream. They are not really like when you are able to move the eyes and see the ancestors in different way. And actually, one of my students is a researcher of the Turin University in Italy, and lately she didn't like an electroencephalogram of myself while I was doing the mirror. The results were amazing because your delta waves are totally boosted, like we're like completely in deep dream.
A deep
state,
dream, yeah.
and the gamma waves. But the most amazing things are because I was opening the eyes and I was moving the mirror and I remember that I was hearing like, what is he seeing? Why these results? Because they show that you were like in a complete dream.
Is it the EEG thing?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable though.
Yeah. So
Almost magical.
Yeah, so the results were that actually I was like dreaming and I was doing the mirror. So now I'm not sure, because for the ancient Mexicans, you were dreaming. It was said that you were like in a flower dream. When you were dreaming, lucid dreaming, or when you were doing the mirror, there wasn't like a difference. But now I really have like a modern comparison of that. I didn't look for it because I believe these things. I am not like looking for science and for proofs. They proposed me that in my workshop in Italy. Would you like to be tested while you are doing the mirror? And I said, oh, why not? But the results pleased me a lot, because it's like a comparison that the ancient Mexicans were right. Yeah, and actually you are like dreaming when you are doing the mirror.
In a dream state, which actually probably the most important on that topic is that that you can actually achieve that amomati state, that while you're awake you're dreaming. Because you just done it. And there is a proof of that. So it's not just a legend, or
No, it's not a legend. It's true. It's true. Your brain frequencies are like if you were dreaming in a deep dream state.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
From Hungary, all your readers, we would like to wish you all the best.
Thank
you. I know you are about to finish your next book. Do you have a title or a working title?
Caves of Power.
Caves of Power. Sounds interesting. Okay, so and I know that you are moving to London from Mexico.
Yeah, for a period. Yeah.
For a while, and you're opening your school.
Yeah, again, my second Nahualism school. We did one last year, and now we are starting in October the second dreaming school here in London. So if you are interested, it's every 2 months, 1 weekend, with a lot of homework. Life-changing, I think, for them and for me also. Because it was the first one that I did abroad. I have done it in Mexico many times, but this was like the first time abroad. And I'm looking forward for the next.
Was it different? Do people dream differently in London than...
No,
but I know there were
but it's a different way of thinking. Mexican people, we are much more of faith. That here is more scientifically based, but people were really pleased. So in the beginning it was a little bit more challenging for me, but at the end it was like the same.
It's always learning for the teacher as well, isn't it? So did you have students all over Europe? So,
yeah, a lot of people were, half of the school were from Germany. They were coming.
Which is amazing though, isn't it?
A lot of people, some people were coming from Italy, others from Greece, every 2 months, so others from Scandinavia. Yeah, a lot of people from all over Europe.
So everyone can go, whoever is interested.
Yeah, of course. I would love to see Hungarian people.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.